Hey everybody, so I finally decided May 22nd at 9:30 a.m. will be the free UTC seminar. The topic will be the top 10 things in fitness and health that people think they know, definitely don't, but should. And I'll give an example today in the video. But just so people understand, I really tried hard to pick a date that was obviously after Mother's Day, before Memorial Day, after graduations, et cetera, et cetera. I did my best. But it's going to be a free seminar. I promise to deliver some great information. But for example, I'll give you an 11th topic. This assumption that, just working out in general is great. For example, if I do CrossFit, that's going to be good for me. Well, let's just take a step back. And I like to take all conversations from a common sense approach. This exact topic I was talking about 20 years ago on the Dragon Door Forum, which is the world of kettlebells. That's like the kettlebell, that's like where all the trainers talk in the kettlebell world. And before anybody knew about CrossFit, we knew about CrossFit. You can still go back and look at those threads where we're talking about in 2002, 2003, 2004. CrossFit didn't really become a thing until a few years later that it became everywhere. But just think about this. If you can agree that strength is in fact technique, if you don't believe me, look at Olympic lifters. We're talking about 175-pound men clean and jerking 450 pounds over their head. Is it about muscle? I mean, they're 175 pounds. Strength is technique at the end of the day. It's grooving the nervous system in a very particular way. There are things that are happening in the brain. We're creating myelin, it's called myelination in the brain, that makes the signal to that movement, that very particular motor pattern, extremely efficient. So if we're talking, for example, about a clean and jerk, there is a clean component, there's a jerk component, and the more repetitions you do under proper form, that's the key. The key is proper form. Then your body learns efficiency. It also myelinates that, myelination is like a form of like entrainment of the body, where the effort becomes minimal over time. Repetition breeds perfect technique, which breeds perfect leverage, which means your strength increases. If we can agree that this is a principle, and by the way, everybody in the strength industry does, so if you didn't know that, just take my word for it. Ask yourself this: is the best way to increase strength to go ahead and pick 5 exercises and do them as fast as you can in a loop? I'm going to do 10 handstand push-ups, followed by 10 pull-ups, followed by 10 burpees. You get the idea. And then I'm going to do it as many times as I can. And I have to do it for 10 rounds or whatever. I'm going to call that workout Beth. Oh, okay, you won because you did it in 8 minutes. Congratulations. Last time you only did it in 9, and you did it in 8 this time. You're now better. What is the problem with this approach? The problem is that you are literally practicing the opposite of strength. You're by nature going to fail and get more, the technique will break down. The form will be more poor the longer you go. By the time you get to that last round, it's going to look atrocious. So the question is there a better way? It's also the recipe to get hurt, right? Because we know that that's where people get hurt. It's also the best way to breed things like arthritis, where you get damage in wrists and elbows. And guys, part of what I do for a living is I do a lot of stretch therapy. I do a lot of physical therapy on people. And guess what? A lot of them come from CrossFit facilities. So is there a better approach? The better approach would be you practice perfect technique. First of all, you have to understand perfect technique. Then you practice perfect technique. And then you do it under the correct loads over time, where it's never too light and never too heavy. The time to max out something should happen maybe once arguably, depending on the person, every 3 months to 6 months. Some people once a year, depending on how strong you are. What does the general kid in high school tend to do at 17? They max out every Friday. And I can't tell you how many kids that I have that come to me for help with their wrists and elbows. They don't train with me. They want me to fix them, that have issues with their wrists or elbows or shoulders because that's their approach. And despite telling them that this is not what they should be doing and giving them examples and talking to them just like this, they keep doing it because that's what their friends do and because that's what's cool in the gym. It's like peer pressure to be stupid. And but you'll notice that as we have these conversations in the UTC, whatever topic we're talking about, you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of ways that our mind operates this way, whether it's with health or food or strength or whatever it is, where we choose to do the stupid thing. Even though intuitively we know better, we're choosing the stupid thing. It's the same thing with certain things like bar classes. Is that a great idea? I promise you, if I took half the women out of bar class, I assure you that 50% of them have knee issues. Why is that? Because you're in constant plantar flexion in the class. What does that do? It puts pressure on your patellar tendon, right? And if you're overweight, you're going to be way more likely to have those knee issues. And yet they just think that this is kind of normal because they see some of the other skinny girls in the class and think, well, you know what? All I got to do is keep doing what they're doing and eventually I'll look like them. Wrong. That shit happens on the dinner plate. That happens on the lunch plate. That happens on the breakfast plate. And it happens by not having snacks all the freaking time. So if you want to understand certain principles of training and how to get stronger and not get hurt and progress over time, there's ways to do that. We have 50, 60-year-old, even 70-year-old clients at the gym. I invite them, bring your kid in, bring your grandkid in. And we have clients who will outperform the kid in their workout. I'll have them work out with the parent or in that group. And in the things that they do, the kid is dead within 20 minutes. And what are we practicing there? We're practicing certain things called training. If we understand that the body's doing certain things most of the day, meaning sitting down, we should be doing things that externally rotate our shoulder more. We should be doing things that give us thoracic extension. We should be doing things that give us hip extension. We should be doing things that strengthen our hamstrings and glutes. We should be doing things that dorsiflex our ankles, etc., etc. How many people pay attention to things like that when they go, quote unquote, work out? Instead of working out, try training, meaning you train patterns. You get really, really good at them. You get really, really strong at them. And then you're going to notice that you feel better, you move better, and your joints, as you get older, are going to appreciate you more. So that's just a classic example. We're going to go through 10 of them on Sunday. And like I said, these are going to be common misconceptions about certain things. We'll delve into them and then we'll do a Q&A afterwards. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Have a great rest of the day.